Konstantinos Mavropanos is the player that we've signed. I say it dragged on. It didn't really drag on, to be fair. So we went. First I'd ever heard of us signing him was about 2 weeks ago. So it just feels like the last 3 or 4 days have dragged on since he was pictured at the London Stadium. It's sort of dragged on a little bit. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what's really interesting. I don't know if you saw the picture of him and Tim Steiten and his agent on a private jet. Did you see that? Did you see that picture? If I can find it, I'll pop it up here. It'll probably be on the thumbnail if I can find it. There was also the picture of Tim Steiten and Edson Alvarez on the private jet. Whose jet is that? I want to know whose jet that is, firstly, by the way. Is Trip Smith lending his jet? Is it Kretinsky's jet? Has Karen Brady bought herself a jet and she's allowing the old Tim Meister to be... well, he wasn't flying it. Someone else was flying it because I saw the pilot in one of the pictures. Anyway, I thought it was really, really interesting. Don't know why it's interesting, but I like it. I like to see it, not because I like private jets. I'd love one, don't get me wrong, but I just like to see Steiten involved. It was also interesting to see that he was with him, Mavropanos, I mean, he was with him when they were pictured in the stands ahead of the Chelsea game, or during the Chelsea games. I thought that was really good as well. He's a really good player. I'm gonna nail my colours to the mast here. From what I've seen, I think he's a very, very good defender. And I think we've got serious options there with Gerd, with Zuma. I thought Bono looked really good when he came on, by the way, against Chelsea. We've got Kehrer there as well. We've got this guy now. Don't forget, Alvarez can also play at centre-half as well. Real options. I mean, surely even David Moyes is satisfied now. He can't have too many centre-backs, that man, can he? But he looks good. I've got to say, he's big. He's strong, as you bloody should be. You should be strong if you're big. Imagine being big and weak. But anyway, he's big and strong. He's fast. Carries the ball out from defence into midfield really, really well. Quite dominant in the air. We are going to be pretty difficult to play against from set pieces. You know what? That's another video. I've got some sort of ideas on how I think West Ham are going to play. A couple more signings. I think things could be very, very tasty at West Ham. But anyway, Mavropanos, I'm really pleased he's signed. And just took a little while longer. Passed the medical. That was never a problem. Just some final financial terms needed to be ironed out. I think it works out at £20 million, €25 million, something like that. I think at 5. The final few bits is the add-ons are included in that. It's a good signing. I think it's fair to say. Tim Steiten signing, quite like that. First choice, Moyes want to go and get Maguire. Okay, couldn't quite get him. Right, we'll go and get Tim's fella. I think that's pretty good. Seems to be working out rather well that at the moment, has to be said, which is good news. Absolutely good news. Mohammed Kudus, now, there's been a second bid that's gone in for him. I'm sure you already know that by now. It appears that Ajax might have changed the pricing a little bit, basically. They've got around with a price gun. Does anyone ever use a price gun anymore? I'm not sure they do. But they've changed the price. I think the price was originally about... they wanted about 38 million. And maybe the first time we went in with 32 and then some add-ons. And now they've turned around. Even 38's not going to do it. I think... all in all, we've offered, our bid is €40 million, which includes the add-ons. I'm not going to claim to know the ins and outs of it. But now apparently Ajax are not keen to sell. Now, I would not, under normal circumstances, I would say, this is just a game of, game of cat and mouse, financial cat and mouse, really. It's just a negotiation. However, we have already dealt with them this season with Edson Alvarez. And I think, they didn't do that then. Maybe... it's clearly not a tactic that they've used already with us this season. So maybe they do want to keep him. So I guess it's down to how much the player wants to ask for a move. I don't think there's any problem with asking for a move as long as you're committed, as we know. I mean, Lucas Paqueta let it be known when Man City were interested that he would quite like the opportunity to move, but he didn't throw a strop. He didn't go on strike. Seen no dip in his performances. I think also Ward-Prowse had let it be known that actually to Southampton that he would quite like to move to West Ham, and his departure from Southampton was done with nothing but class and respect. So I think you can do it. And I think this is going to come down to whether Kudus wants to push this forward. I think he's a really, really important signing, actually. Some of these players that we get linked with become... incredibly important to the way that we want to play. I actually thought that with Agurd when we signed Agurd, and the way Agurd, we've not seen too much of it actually, but that's by the by. When we signed him, I thought, yeah, this guy is important to how David Moyes wants to play because he's got a really long range of passing with that left foot. I thought I've not seen him picking out Antonio and Bowen too many times actually, but you get what I mean. It sort of made sense for us to sign him given the way we were playing. It's why I've always thought Areola should maybe play in goal more than Fabianski because he distributes the ball more accurately and faster, which if you're a counter-attacking team, that's got to be some benefit, right? I look at, James Ward-Prowse absolutely makes sense for all the reasons that we said. For all his attributes, makes sense to how David Moyes wants to play, that he would want to sign him. You'd say the same with Mikel Antonio. Someone like that, he needs someone like that. Why did he sign Scamacca? Of course, he never suited it. Mohammed Kudus, I think, for all the reasons that I've given there, suits the way we want to play and the way David Moyes wants to play, should I say. And I think that's really important that we go out and we get him. And there's certainly... I think there's certainly a big push to go and get him. We have the money to. Now, the only thing I do wonder on this is, are we after two players? I'll talk about this in another video, actually, but there's the talk about the striker. Is it Kudus and a striker, for instance? If it is the case that they want to, and I think they should get to, then maybe, just maybe, they should look to push the boat out on Kudus, and if it is a little bit more, then pay a little bit more. I'd be more inclined to do that. I think there are a couple of sales that can be made from the first team, and I'm not talking about Pablo Fornals here, by the way. I do not want to do that. Again, we'll talk about it at a separate time, but I think there are some sales. So if what we are is 3 or 4 million shy, and we've got a bit of a budget there, a set budget for the attacking wide player, or the fast attacking midfielder, which what Kudus would be, and we've also got a bit of a budget for a striker, but we're only sort of 4 or 5 million short of Ajax's valuation. I just say pay it, and then I think there's someone else that can certainly be moved on for that money. I don't think that should be too much of an issue at all. Actually, looking at it, Ekitike is the one from Paris Saint-Germain. You can now understand the desire to do that as a loan move because it sort of mitigates that financial liability, doesn't it? And would free up West Ham to make a slightly higher bid. I think we've done well, by the way. Bearing in mind, everybody knew we had money. Everyone. I don't think we've had our pants pulled down too much. I really don't. Everyone knew we had 105 million. I think we paid a reasonable amount for Edson Alvarez. I think we paid a reasonable amount for James Ward-Prowse, really. It seems a lot, particularly for his age, but I think we'll get that as a return. And this is somebody that Southampton were quoting both West Ham and Tottenham 70 million for a year ago. So I don't think we've had our pants pulled down. And I think we can perhaps allow ourselves a little bit of playing slightly over the odds. If it's got to be 3 or 4 million for a player, I think that's fine. I think the worry was when we sold Declan Rice that teams would be asking us for 20 million more than the player was worth. I think we did well to get what we have for Scamacca as well, given the circumstances. So I think sometimes, you just got to take the win on the way we've sold. We've sold well, and maybe pay a little bit over. I hope we get him. I think he's really important. Anyway, there you go. That's the transfer news for today. As of this morning, I think something's going to happen. Something else is going to happen this week because the 72 hours have elapsed, which the club said we're going to sign 2 players. I think so. One of them was Mavropanos. That's happened now. The other one, I do wonder if it was Kudus, and I think the club were confident. If they were confident, and we definitely want him, I suspect eventually we'll get the deal done. But we do not lead that running until transfer deadline day.